How does this translate into this frequency of sharing human love?
And the simple statement of the divine in me sees the divine in you comes.
Mm.
And as you relate with the most positive aspects that you can find in someone, while ignoring to a degree the qualities that irk you, and kind of bringing them in and loving and accepting them, while completely honoring yourself. First and foremost, following your joy, your bliss, and your goodness brings out more and more positive aspects in each individual. And they're kind of like a canvas because your perceptions of them create them.
Mm.
And if they can't live in that higher frequency and vibration that you are living in and seeing and visualizing as them or for them, then they will simply just fall away.
Yeah, that happens a lot for me. It's felt a little lonely.
Mm-hmm. So, Creator, how do we fill any void-like experience now of loneliness, letting that be full of what you have now? Saying, I am relatable in my awesome expansion, my high vibrations and frequency, and in my humanness imperfections. All that I am, all that I ever will be is relatable. And I see this purple liquid filling up that void. I am my family, and therefore I experience family. I am my beloved, and therefore I experience beloved. Worthy and deserving, full and fulfilled. I experience partnership that makes me and the other wanting to keep coming back for more, wanting to say yes over and over again, and that it feels more precious, more exciting, and better to be together and choose to be in relationship with each other than to go without choosing.
That's a good paradigm.
And love is totally accessible to you. First in your imagination, and then in your experience. Because it is joyful and fun to be able to have someone as the object of your attention and to be the object of their attention without holding them to maintain that all the time, because you still know and have that connection with your soul and divine source as the number one priority. And that as you are aligned with the divine within you, that cellular property of frequency, as you play with that and experience that and feel elated by your own existence, the relationships will all be so easy.
Oh, good. That's great news. So playing with the frequency of the God particle that was the big flash, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Playing with more. Mm-hmm.
Because that makes you feel, I can feel it inside of your heart, that makes you feel so elated, so connected, so full. And when you do that first, in your sleep, when you wake up, do that first in any moment that you have, making sure that you stay an independent individual regardless of any relationship, making that practice and connection with your own God particle the number one priority, you will feel so fulfilled that the relationships will mirror that.
Now, how do I best play with that?
I see you getting intimate with it in the sense of closing your eyes and playing with it as if it were Play-Doh, but it's in the energy realm.
Right.
And it makes you, like, I just feel it in your heart, feeling so joyful.
I feel that. I can feel that frequency.
So that you can feel it, that is your home. That is your home. That is who you are. That is where you belong, even as it expands and maybe even changes visions or changes colors or shapes. But that frequency, even though it will raise and expand, that is where you belong, and that is where all relationships, if you want them to be good, for you to stem off of that.
Yes,
before interacting as much as you can.
Right. Just centered in that.
Mm-hmm. And even when, or if they're not holding space for finding and playing and seeing the God particle in them, even if they can't and they haven't. And knowing that the way that you feel is more important than you coming down to their level.
Right. Exactly.
You don't want to sacrifice your good feeling to be able to relate with another human being.
Right.
And that's what we do with high vibrational people often is, well, nobody else is up here, so I'm just going to go.
I'm going to shrink.
Yeah.
Shrink and have company. Yeah, it's not a good plan.
But then it doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good, no.
And so whenever they're complaining or miserable or just down and out of whack, well, what they're, even if they're kind of hostile towards you, it's really because they recognize that you are where they want to be.
Right.
And so holding space, keeping and maintaining where you are actually allows them to eventually see that and take responsibility for their own selves getting there. And you allowing space and knowing that they can and will eventually get there and that it's not your responsibility. Still doing whatever you have to do to maintain that vibration for yourself is really the big key.
Yeah, it's important. It's the key.
Yeah. So
do you
absorb that?
I've been absorbing that, yeah.
Let's absorb that, and then as wisdom, as vibration, as kinesthetic learning, as if we've already been doing it and practicing it over and over, and we've already, let's just say we've mastered it.
We've mastered it, yeah.
We've mastered it. So give us the mastery, the feeling in all of our cells and in the grooves in our brain, everything we need in order to know and feel and experience and express the mastery and continual practice that is natural and easy for us to now maintain high vibration and our own good feeling regardless of whether other people are there or not. And in spite of having them to relate to in a certain moment or not. Keeping that as the top priority until it's easy and natural and we continue to feel good and blissful in our moments.